Welcome from Copper Kettle Farms. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Donald.
And we wanted to do a quick video on the coronavirus. Not that we're panicked about the coronavirus. We're actually kind of middle ground, and which means that we're not panicked about it, but we're also not like nonchalant. Like, what was it you said? Going out to Italy and...
Yeah, we're not panicking about it, but we're not going to Italy, coming back and not self-quarantining.
Yeah. And somebody apparently in Gettysburg did that, so we're not sure what's going to happen with all of that. But regardless, before things went a little crazy at the grocery store, we did kind of think ahead a little bit to what is it we felt like we would need as a bare minimum if we had to be quarantined for 2 weeks, a month. And I figured we'd share some of the ideas that we had on what we did. We're not hardcore preppers at the moment. We're certainly trying to push that way where we're more self-sustainable, obviously, because that's what our logo says, living self-sustainably on the Mason-Dixon. Why are you looking at me constantly?
Because you're talking.
Oh, it's weird.
I'm giving you my utmost devotion.
I can feel it. So here's a list of some of the things that we bought ahead of time before it got panicky. Now, our usual grocery shopping is every 2 weeks.
I can still see you. When
Donald gets paid. And what's today? Today would be Saturday that we're recording this. So last Thursday, not this last Thursday, but the one prior, we did go out and buy a couple things in preparation for what might be a little weird.
In preparation for the panic.
Yeah, for people panicking. So we usually shop at Aldi, and a couple things that we decided to stock up on. We got normally a pack of toilet paper, which is what, 12 rolls, yeah. I think. Lasts us like a month, maybe. So I got 2 of them, and we still had some here at the house, so I wasn't needing them yet, but we went ahead and bought 2 packs, and that was it. I didn't feel like I needed to buy a trunk full of toilet paper.
So regarding that, if anyone's looking to buy some,
$50 a roll. So we're fine with toilet paper. I wasn't that worried about it. Even if we did run out, and right now a lot of places are run out of toilet paper. I think that and hand sanitizer above all things. I mean, we could use old clothes if we had to. My dad told me a story of when he was a kid, they used corn cobs. Now, I don't have any corn, but I remember as a kid having to use that at my grandparents' house before they had indoor plumbing. So we stocked up on baking soda. Wait, what was that look for?
Sorry.
we got... Are you thinking about the corn cobs? Mm-hmm. Now, Nathan from Samson's Farm says that when they're freshly hulled or whatever, they're softer. But once they're dried, he says it's like 200 grit sandpaper on your bottom.
Well, that's probably more like 60 grit sandpaper.
Is that the rougher kind?
Yeah, 200. The higher the number, the finer.
So maybe 2 grit.
Oh, 2. There you go. Good God.
So the second item that we did stock up on was baking soda. One, because we use it in baking and cooking, but also because of our goats. We leave free choice baking soda for the goats so that they can help. Basically, it balances their pH and helps prevent them from getting bloated. So we stocked up on...
They burp.
Yeah, they burp. Not a lot. I mean, we might have got like 6 or 7 boxes of it, but it'll last us a month or 2 if we fed the goats.
And it's cheap.
And it's like 80 cents a box, so real cheap. I did stock up on a couple pounds of flour. I've read, and I'm going to try this out, where if you take flour and put it in Ziploc bags and freeze it for a couple days and then stick it in a bucket, like a food grade bucket with a lid, that's all you need to do to stock up on flour. And a lot of people will pre-measure flour in like 1 or 12 cup bags, and that way they know this is a 12 cup bag. That's all I need to take out of the bucket. So we did get some extra flour, but it was only like 2 pounds. We already had some here, so I wasn't that worried about it. I did get some extra yeast, and I think I might have got like 4 or 5 packs of yeast. No, that's a lie. 4 or 5 packs of 3 of yeast. So not a lot. There's still plenty left at the store for other people. Sugar.
Where's the Lysol?
We don't have Lysol.
You just crone it all over. Oh, you're croning.
So we did get some sugar. We don't really consume a lot of processed sugar here. However, in times of panic or zombie apocalypse, I may want a chocolate chip cookie. So
she will want.
I will want a chocolate chip cookie. So having it available, even just for like, if you're talking like apocalyptic for trade, it's a good thing to have around. It doesn't really go bad. You can use it to feed hummingbirds if you decide not to use it for yourself. I mean, whatever. Or sell baked goods. Maybe you want to buy a chocolate chip cookie. I'm just saying. We got some extra honey. More than I usually get, simply because I wanted to make a big batch of fire cider. And if you follow us on Instagram, you saw I have like a big gallon pickle jar that we filled with all the goodies for fire cider and vinegar. So that's been sitting for over a week now. I'm probably going to give it another 2 weeks, and then I'm going to sweeten it with the honey, and we'll have fire cider here, which is good for general health anyway.
And you're also doing the garlic?
Yes. And I did peel some garlic today and stick that in some honey to, not really ferment it, but kind of infuse it with the garlic and honey.
Yeah. You're getting honey infused garlic.
Yeah. And then garlic infused honey in return, in case I want to use that for something. I don't know what I would use garlic infused honey for, but maybe in a meal that needs to be sweetened, but it's like a savory meal. I don't know. Could do it with a roast beef. That would be good. Salt. A lot of the items we got are multi-purpose. The baking soda was for baking and for goats. The salt obviously is for cooking, but we also butcher. And when we butcher, we put all of the carcasses in a bucket of salt water to help draw out the rest of the blood from inside the corpse or carcass. And we usually always have salt around for that purpose. Non-iodized salt, now that's iodized salt, but if you wanted to buy non-iodized salt, you can actually, when we butcher rabbits, you can preserve rabbit hides with that temporarily until you're ready to actually process it. And you simply do that by layering non-iodized salt on the skin side and letting it sit and dry out. And then it's pretty much preserved until you want to actually do something with it. I did pick up my prescription a little early since I wasn't sure if people were going to have a run on their medications. I only need one medication, so we did pick that up a little early, and that wasn't a big thing, but we did kind of think ahead about that. Dog food. We had plenty of dog food probably for another 2 weeks, but again, I didn't know whether there was going to be a run on dog food, so I just picked up one extra bag, and that'll last us at least another month. So that way Court's taken care of, and we got to take care of him. So we did pick... Moocher. What do? You do nothing. We picked up a couple canned goods. We don't really eat canned food here at all. My dad, like sometimes we'll eat peas and I'll mix it with like a curry or something, but I picked up like the extra peas, maybe some jarred marinara sauce. I did decide to pick up some garbanzo beans because I really love garbanzo beans and I make a really good chickpea fritter, which I might do a recipe video at some point. But we don't eat a lot of beans. I picked up some just in case we needed it, and it's shelf stable is what I was looking for. Is a couple more shelf stable items to keep around, but I'm not that worried about those. We did pick up some extra rice, and we had actually been, I want to say for the last month, whenever the coronavirus first started becoming a thing in China, I did start picking up extra rice because I thought maybe that would be a problem over here. So just every grocery trip, we'd pick up one extra bag. And then last week when we went grocery shopping, I picked 2 extra bags. So I've got a lot of rice that's just sitting there that is easy to make and lasts a while. So soap, we picked up some soap. I picked up soap and not like shampoo or body wash because I figured soap, even like laundry detergent, if it came down to it, I could just use soap for everything. I think my hair would probably feel pretty gross if I washed with it, but it would at least be clean. So if we ever got into a desperate scenario, at least I won't stank. I can be clean. Our clothes can be clean. I could technically do laundry with soap if I had to, but I figured one thing that had a multi-use purpose would be good, and I'll just worry about shampoo and stuff later if I had to. So, we picked up, well, we didn't pick up, we planted a lot of extra seeds this year because I think that the world is kind of woken up a little bit about how fragile our system is, not just the food system, but the economy in general, the stock markets, people panicking about toilet paper. I think a lot of people are getting into okay, now we need to get back to victory gardens and root cellars and canning. So in preparation for that, we planted a ton of food this year. And
what's a victory garden?
It was a thing during the World War II that it was like government marketing propaganda is what I kind of want to call it, where they would tell people, for your part in helping the war effort, plant a garden to feed yourself so that you're not starving and relying on government assistance and things like that.
Oh, okay.
It was a big thing, and the poster, you can still buy the posters out there for it. I feel like we need kind of a reinvention of that. Like, don't rely on these government-built systems in society to be able to eat. So we are pretty much doubling our efforts this year in what we're planting so that we can preserve and feed ourselves on our land, which we were going to do anyway, but we were just kind of like, let's just go all the way out. Let's do as much as possible. And if we have too many plants, we sell them. And that's just money in our pocket. So some things that I wish I had done and didn't think about at the time. I wish I would have picked up some shelf-stable milk because we get raw milk from a local Mennonite farm, so I wasn't too worried about it. But now I'm thinking about it, if there was a run on milk, and we do use milk in various things. Dad uses it a lot in his cooking. We don't have that. So I probably will pick some of that up at some point when things calm down. And then another thing was, I know that the electrical companies aren't going to be giving people guff that can't pay their bills right now, which is great. But if that ever did happen, we have a lot of lamps around here, like oil lamps, and I don't have any oil. So that's something I probably would have picked up just in case. But that's like long-term prepper mentality, so I wasn't as concerned about that. We keep a regular supply of batteries around. We probably could pick up some more 𝙎𝙀𝙄𝙇 next time we're shopping, but for now, I think we're pretty good. We've got a wood stove to heat the house if we needed it. We have chicken in the freezer from last year when we butchered. We've got our next set of chickens we got the other day for butchering this year. We've got eggs coming in, so in the long run, we're pretty good. But I figured I would just this is the very low-key, if you're not a prepper but you want to be prepared mentality, these are some of the things that you can think about. Maybe you get your own ideas on what you would benefit as a multi-use staple, but that's what we did. So again, I'm Crystal.
I'm Donald.
And we are Copper Kettle Farms.